Hi, everybody. For the most part, I think we made it, but for the ones that are still attending school, just keep pushing and you can do it. And eventually you will be graduating too, and you will understand the feeling of bliss that comes with it. Um, but to focus on what this speech is about, for my culminating assignment, I chose to focus on the foster care population. I did my practicum at a therapeutic foster care agency. Um, there are many needs that this population possess. However, I chose to focus on the growing epidemic of the lack of permanency that the foster children experience. Permanency essentially is placement stability. It improves their quality of life through forming meaningful, long-lasting relationships. It also decreases adverse behaviors associated with trauma. Most of these foster children experience some sort of trauma, whether it's neglect, sexual or emotional abuse, or physical abuse. And just being taken out of the home is trauma in itself. But during my practicum experience, I noticed that the children at the agency were being moved constantly due to negative behaviors or the lack of forming a bond with the foster parent. So this was very evident to me that something needed to be done. So I chose to focus a little bit on that. The foster drift that happens, moving from placement to placement, harms the child, and it creates new trauma and insecurities for the child too. So I wanted to focus on a project that could be implemented within the agency to promote the placement stability of the children. I found that foster parent trainings at the agency itself was lacking in the education regarding permanency and placement stability, and why it is appropriate for the child to experience something so grave, something that needs to happen. So I created a resource packet for the foster parents. In this packet, I included handouts explaining what permanency is, as well as other factors that promote permanency, like parenting styles, attachment theories, and also trauma related behaviors, because some parents may see trauma-related behaviors as just being a bad child, but really they just are trying to cope with their traumatic experience that they experience. So it's usually with the negative coping skill of acting out or being moody or hitting, those kind of behaviors. So I also included a local resource packet, like doctor phone numbers, DCBS phone numbers, hospital, things that they may need as being a foster parent, working with foster children. So I try to make it all in one little packet for them so they can just go back to it if they need to. And plus, it provides them with education on why it's so important to improve the child's well-being and increase placement success. So the advocacy project I chose to focus on this semester, besides our research project, was writing an email to my congressman concerning the Families First Act that the Child Welfare League of America brought to Washington, D.C. on April 19th. I wanted to also show my support by putting the identified hashtags that they explain on their website to the foster care population, like why it's important, and to promote this advocacy project. So I put it on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all kind of social media aspects. But this act is important to the foster care population because it addresses the funding for social workers, increasing funding for placements to have new social workers come in, and also they address permanency and permanency issues. So my big idea is a big idea. It's to end foster care drift, which is moving children from one home to another, from one agency to another, just being, handled in our system like that. And I want to increase permanency for every foster child through advocacy, not only on a micro and meso level, so not only just helping the child cope with traumatic experiences and giving them new coping skills and helping them work through their issues, and not even just on a meso level of agency to agency, but also I want to be an advocate on a macro level. Change needs to happen from the top. So, although I have an interest in the foster care population, I also have a heart for any vulnerable population. I was hoping to find my niche while being at the Kent School. However, I found out that I would love to work with all types. So it just increased my ambivalence of what population I really want to work with. So my time at Kent School has not only allowed me to grow personally, but also professionally. I have grown exponentially professionally. And I have sharpened my critical skills along with my clinical skills. I became more self-aware. I've taken effort for self-care. That's very important in this field. It leads to passion fatigue and burnout. An area of improvement, I would like to increase my patience. As an advocate, results don't happen overnight, but oftentimes, they do happen overnight, but oftentimes they don't. Therefore, I need to increase my patience and learn that good things come to those who wait. So that's my speech. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hope you have a good year and happy graduation.